There's like 1,000 goals in hockey. There's like 1,000 goals in hockey now.
Well, I mean, more than usual, but it's like, don't you want to see more?
Okay, Steven is now rolling.
We're rolling now.
We're rolling now. Yeah. I feel like this is one of those situations where we should start talking about World Cup because we're getting to the nitty gritty. It's been very entertaining. It's the largest thing going on in sport right now. DumbFans, we got Hart, Amro doing the Zoom. We couldn't physically be around each other today, but we're all remote. Steven's this ominous being in the sky and looking over us as we're
maybe we haven't verified if he's actually on this call or not. But
yeah, well, if we can't see,
he's here.
Yeah, if we can't see him, that's okay because you're not watching, so who cares, right? Have you been watching a lot of World Cup?
I have. I was in downtown for which game did I go downtown for? Colombia, and it was the one before the last time Colombia played before they played Switzerland. I forgot which game it was. It wasn't in Vancouver though.
Okay.
But yeah. I went there just for the vibe, and man, I was not a big soccer fan, but I don't know, having the World Cup in your backyard, I'm fully committed. I'm watching every game. I'm trying to do as much as I can to make it out for the watch parties. Have you gone to a watch party? Oh, you did. You went to
Argentina. So if you're following along on our Instagram, which it seems like you're not, Hart, that's okay. Nobody else is. I went to one of the setup events in Pipa here in Vancouver. It was really cool to watch. I've been very impressed. I think that the games being here in North America have added a little something. I don't know about you, but the games seem like they have a lot more risk to them. Even it's crazy to say, especially in knockouts, because it's always been the same way. But the expanded roster of countries, the fact that they're playing in Canada, U.S., and Mexico, something crazy in terms of how many games there are in different arenas. It's really added something. And, I would say it's probably added more in terms of casual fans getting bought into the World Cup.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm one of those casual fans that have really bought into the World Cup this year. It's been really good. I don't know if this happens like most of the World Cups, but a lot of comeback wins. Like this recently, the Argentina game. Even the England Mexico one, you must have been watching that one. That one I really thought Mexico was going to come back.
I couldn't sit. It was crazy to see. To me, that was the game of the knockout rounds so far.
Of the tournament, I think. That's probably the most entertaining game of the tournament.
Well,
all the fouls being committed, the goals being scored.
Yeah, we'll find out. I mean, obviously, we go into a new set of rounds here for the knockout stages, so we'll see what happens. I mean, in terms of what I've watched, I mean, there wasn't a boring game, really. Even yesterday with Colombia and Switzerland, I was invested the entire way through, and I thought that was a really exciting game to watch. And it's always exciting when a game like that goes to penalties, and it didn't live up to the hype. But for me, I loved England, England, Mexico. That was a crazy game to watch. I thought Norway and Brazil was a really exciting game. Holland. If I didn't know who this guy was before, I definitely know who he is now.
I think the world knows who he is now.
Yeah, I mean they're the most viewed in terms of social media, in terms of and their after game activities are fun. The rowing of the Vikings is incredible. I thought really, really cool to see what the popularity is around this guy. I would love them.
I would love them to win the whole thing. Norway, they just look like they're just having fun.
Yeah, they do. I completely agree with that. I mean, England's gonna win, but it's nice to see.
England's gonna have to watch out for them because they're playing them next, and
they are.
I don't know. I think Norway might take it.
That's going to be a really fascinating game to watch. I thought England going into Mexico to play the Azteca was probably the hardest environment something like four countries have walked out with a victory out of the Azteca playing Mexico, and now
Yeah.
England is one of them. So in my mind, coming out of that and the elevation, that was probably the hardest test for the guys. So to go and play against one of the hottest teams, if not the hottest in Norway, I think that will be make for great cinema. All the host countries are out now, though, unfortunately. So Canada, Mexico, and now US are all out. So there's no more host countries moving on into the semis. And, I would say I always considered Mexico as a strong team. I never thought the US and Canadian programs were uh, right there along with the rest of the world. I think they've sort of come along and they've grown leaps and bounds, but there's still something missing, I feel like, from both programs. Um, I don't think one program is better than the other. I think both US and Canada are probably in the same boat from what I've seen.
Yeah, they're at par. Yeah, I definitely think Mexico is the better of the three. And I mean, I wish they did beat England and make it a little further, but yeah, that's how soccer is. But yeah, looking forward to these next set of games, which start tomorrow. So you have Morocco and France at 1 o'clock local time, so Pacific time for us. That one, my personal opinion from the beginning was obviously France and Spain were the big guys that I thought were gonna would probably make it to the finals, or now they're gonna have to face each other if they win their next rounds. But I think the dark horse and the one that I'm really rooting for now, besides now that Canada's out, is Norway. I really like that team. They just look like they're having a lot of fun. They're exciting. Holland is just what a character. It just he's got so many like Instagram posts and stuff that he just looks like a fun guy to be around.
What was your thoughts there with the overturning of the suspension with Balogun? And the ruling is that it wasn't overturned. They suspended the suspension for the United States so that way he could play against Belgium.
So what I did like about that is all this political talk around it, that Trump getting involved, because that's a big no-no, like having a politician get involved in anything, something like that. But I think if it was a suspension, that he should have just been suspended for that game. I mean, this makes USA look even worse. He comes back, one of their best guys, and they do a no show. Is that because there was more pressure on them now, or that they just like? I think this is worse for US to have them play and to get manhandled by Belgium.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like the moment was a little bit too much for USA. I mean, the goalie had the error there that he's going to have to live with now for pretty much forever. I bet when you do that in the United States, you could go home
It's
and
still
just
not as bad.
yeah, it's not bad.
You see that somewhere else.
Different situation. That's the culture of football, though, right? You can't make those are critical errors in big games like that. And it's not like FIFA has had this infallible history of corruption. Like this is par for the course. A lot of the times, politicians and politics get involved with their countries in this tournament. I think it was something like Ronaldo was actually supposed to serve a 3-game suspension into this tournament, but he never did. So
Really?
yeah. So I mean, there are situations of this that just go back in history, right? So to have a sitting president, call FIFA and overturn a suspension, or step in on a suspension for. And Balogun's a good player. I mean, he scored 3 goals in this tournament. He's probably one of the best.
He's your best striker, isn't he?
Yeah,
Is he not?
one of the better strikers for sure. Yeah, absolutely. So it helps to have him. It didn't matter in that game. And Belgium was
No, it
very.
didn't.
I thought it was really great to see. Belgium had
Did,
an
did,
opportunity.
did you see
Belgium,
their celebration after
so that was
in the
the
locker room?
No, I didn't.
They did the Trump dance. They're doing the Trump dance in the locker room.
Yeah.
I think that was I was so happy to have USA out. Like Canada's already out. I wanted USA out. The only other host team I would want to go for is Mexico. But after Belgium won, they're all doing the Trump dance in the locker room. I thought it was great.
Yeah, it's cool to see. I mean, we can all unite and just dunk on the U.S. So that's kind of fun. That's what makes the World Cup so much fun. I honestly do hope that we win another bid to host games like this. I mean, a lot of the stadiums aren't really soccer specific. Like you look at, the Dallas Cowboys Stadium holds like what 90,000 people.
Yeah.
That's an absurd amount of players, especially in warmer climates, especially this time of year in the season where it's so hot. I thought the hydration breaks was a stroke of genius for this tournament. Good for the
They were
players to
booed every
highlight.
time.
Um, Booed in terms of certain teams, yeah, sure,
Yeah.
yeah,
The
but
European teams, obviously.
sure, yeah, but the hydration break. You're playing in heat dome weather. I mean, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
You're in a contained environment where you have thousands upon thousands of people just sitting on top of each other. It makes it very, very difficult environment. Is what I'm trying to say.
Do
Um,
you think this could have been a westernized a little bit and maybe they're like, okay, let's just call it hydration breaks, and then this is where they get their commercial breaks in, and
I,
they get their advertising?
Well, we were just talking about this with like the news with Sportsnet, right? It seems like the marketing dollars they have to try and like maximize on it as much as possible. That's why there's more countries involved in this tournament than there's ever been.
Yeah.
The commercialization in this sport, you're hosting a world tournament spanning over three different nations in North America. So you got countless cities, arenas, ticket sales. Like you're gonna want all the commercial dollars um, to come into this, and you didn't have to build anything. That was
Yeah.
great. Like you didn't have to build one arena. These arenas are
Hmm.
already set in stage. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try to do this again because I think it's gone so well.
Yeah. You're right.
Even with like the news of like Trump trying to put his foot into the news cycle with the World Cup, it adds to it, right? Like you're
It
something
does.
person, and we get to talk about it too as casual fans of soccer now, getting a little bit more bought in to watch how the rest of the semis go. But with top of the semis, you mentioned France, Morocco. I think France is the heavy favorite to go all the way. And I thought that Morocco had a great showing against the Canadians. I don't know if that was really a challenge for them. They were able to compensate and come back and take it in the second half. So
The
I
Canadians looked really good in the first half. Unfortunately, they just couldn't stick around with Morocco. I
yeah,
mean,
I
the
mean,
better team won.
I think it boils down to quality and finish. So you're playing a team like France that has a loaded front in terms of strikers. I think it'll be not gonna be short work. I thought it was gonna be short work against Paraguay. Paraguay played a very dirty game against France,
Yeah.
and so that might be the model if you're Morocco. But I expect France to advance over that game.
Yeah, I think so too. I think France takes that one. I mean, pretty easily. I think too, maybe like 3-1 or something.
Yeah.
But then we have Spain and Belgium, who just like France being the big powerhouse. I think Spain, man, they have such a great program. The 18-year-old that's in there, they're never gonna be bad. They're like this team always has somebody stepping up and coming up and playing well. And I think Spain beats Belgium pretty easily as well.
Yeah, they've had a great run here the past two tournaments in terms
Yeah.
of players that have come in and helped set the stage for good grassroots, and now there's a new generation here ready to compete as well. And I like watching Spain. I watched the Spain and Portugal game, and they looked like they had the speedier legs, and it looked like Portugal was sort of outclassed in the speed department. Um, I feel like this might be a tournament where if they get really tested, it'd be interesting to see how they do against a team like France or a juggernaut like England. We'll see how that. How about England, Norway? What do you think there, Hart?
Norway all the
Norway,
way.
eh? Oh, Norway. Yeah,
Yeah, Norway all the way.
let's just give it to Norway. Yeah, why not? Absolutely. Yeah.
Jude Bellingham had a game of his life. He's never going to do that. Duplicate that again.
Game in the toughest environment. That's clutch, Harm. That's the epitome of clutch. Absolutely. And Harry Kane scored too, and he had
No,
the
but
assist off Bellingham as
he
well.
also missed a penalty shot. Harry Kane.
He didn't miss that game. He scored it. Okay. So that's all that matters, Harp. It's just recent bias. Okay, that's how I operate. And as much momentum Norway has going into this game, England has just as much momentum. I think they had the harder win than Norway against Brazil. That's my opinion. But
I don't know about that. Beating
in the Azteca,
beating Brazilian team, Brazilian,
and the refs and the fans, they couldn't sleep. You try sleeping in the hotel, you got fireworks going off over there. That's impossible the situation to try and walk away with a win, and they did. They walked away with a win, Harp. So I got England 6-0, and
There's no way Holland doesn't score in that game.
no.
All the betting fans out there, that's a guarantee Holland goal.
I don't think Pickford's getting enough credit for how great a goalie he is. So I'll say it's gonna be a tight game. I'm gonna say 2-1 or 1-0. It could even go to penalties, honestly. But I think it's gonna be very tight. But I got England coming out of it.
I think Norway takes that 2-1. They get the win.
Amazing, awesome. So what do we make of Argentina then? This is the second time now they played an opponent. I mean, on paper, lesser to them, where it seems like they've taken them to their max here. So Cabo Verde was the darlings of this tournament, and they honestly one of the best games I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Argentina. It was such a great game to watch. I got to see it with my nephews too, so they were going nuts, and they're big Argentina fans. And then Egypt, who looked like they had this win, in my opinion, as the upstarts to Argentina. So
the start of it, but Argentina really controlled that game. They had more possession. It just felt like there could be a comeback. I didn't think they were actually going to pull it off, especially in full time. No extra time needed. They scored 3 goals pretty quick, but I did feel that Argentina wasn't really out of it. I just didn't think it was going to happen in full time, and I mean, good on Argentina, good on Messi. I think he's just proved himself that he's the best.
They got Swiss.
They got Switzerland. So we got a game tomorrow. That's France, Morocco. Friday will be Spain and Belgium, and then 2 games on Saturday. That's the Norway, England, and Argentina and Switzerland.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. I mean, the pathway for Argentina to get to another World Cup here looks well on paper. It looked really good. Yeah. But the games have been closer than they I almost maybe should have been. But that's why we love watching it in real time. That's why we love watching live soccer. But let us know your thoughts. If you think that our opinions on this are off, or you don't think we're good at our jobs, or you think that we're terrible at sports, but tell us. I think that you're gonna hurt our feelings. You're not. I'm not. I have no feelings. I have 0 feelings. Okay, so you can let us know your opinions on this. We want to hear from the sports fan, the casual fan, the diehards. Let us know who your country is or was in this tournament, and let us know your thoughts on this. You got Harpreet here. You got Amaro. We're open to all comments. Like and subscribe. DumbFans.